This video is sponsored by Liquid Sky. Hey guys, GamerZack here, and welcome to my top 20 upcoming PC game releases for July to September of 2017. Now, the third quarter of 2017 has been flooded with releases after all the E3 announcements, and here are 20 plus 17 games PC gamers can look forward to. Also, as a special note, no ads are running on this video because this video is sponsored by Liquid Sky, a cloud computing, cloud gaming service where you can have a whole PC in the cloud. If you're having trouble running any of these new games, you could check them out as an alternative to buying a new PC or upgrading hardware, or if you're just interested in new tech. Alright, now I have 37 games mentioned in this video, so let's get to it. First up, we've got Yonder, the Cloud Catcher Chronicles, coming July 18th. An open-world adventure set in a beautiful, lush environment where you contribute by farming, crafting, cooking, fishing, and brewing while building relationships. It's a charming-looking game, and all the crafting lifestyle stuff should be fun for those into it, and if the whole experience is deep and engaging, this could be a good one, though I do know people will be divided on the visual style. Next we have Aven Colony, releasing July 25th. A sci-fi city builder / colony management sim where you build up your base, collect and process resources, survive harsh winters, and prepare for disaster events. A new city builder is always a welcome addition to PC gaming, and this one has complex mechanics allowing for a lot of customization and room for min-maxing. Some of the dialogue is a bit cheesy though, and the campaign might not have that strong a story. We'll soon see if the game will be endless hours of fun or get a bit repetitive once you figure things out. Then we have Pyre, set for release on July 25th. A party-based RPG from the makers of Bastion and Transistor. You lead a band of exiles to freedom by competing in an ancient tournament. It's Supergiant Games, and they have yet to majorly disappoint, and their new game looks to be as wonderful and magical while still being a fresh experience. There is sports-like gameplay this time, and that might not be to everyone's tastes, but if the game can still capture the hearts and minds of the players, then this should also stick with us for a while. Next up, we've got Sundered, scheduled for July. A hand-drawn Metroidvania with a procedural world, massive boss fights, and multiple endings. Visually, it stands out from the competition, and this seems to be shaping up to be a challenging and dark game with varied gameplay. There have been a lot of good Metroidvanias coming out recently though, so we'll have to wait and see if it can hold itself among the rest or if it will end up fading into the background. And then we have Battlestar Galactica Deadlock, scheduled for summer. Taking place during the First Cylon War, you fight epic 3D tactical space battles, design and build capital ships, recruit officers, and take part in war room politics. I know a lot of people will be excited for a Battlestar Galactica game, and with this recent announcement, we could be getting an epic space war that we can prove ourselves in. Some gameplay has been shown off, and it's looking good, but it's important to note that it's not 100% based on the TV series, so do note the details, but I'm thinking you've already made your mind up about getting this game or not. Next we have Tacoma, set for August 2nd. From the creators of Gone Home, this is a sci-fi narrative adventure set on a space station in the year 2088, and where you are going to uncover the stories of the station's crew and what events took place. Overall, it's looking like an interesting story to explore and a world you could get lost in, but I know many are going to consider this a walking simulator. Generally, if you're into narrative adventures, you're probably going to like this, and if not, probably not. Then we've got Hellblade: SENUA'S Sacrifice, coming August 8th. Follow a Celtic warrior's brutal journey into myth and madness, set in the Viking Age, and fight for the soul of a dead lover. An action game that explores insanity, this hack and slash is shaping up to be an epic and dark journey. If combat and gameplay are solid, then this should be a good one, and it was delayed to make the game better, so hopefully everything works as intended on release. Next up we have LawBreakers, scheduled for August 8th. Fast-paced, gravity-defying FPS combat with a cast of characters and roles that will test your speed and skills. The verticality, speed, and freeform movement make this a competitive and exciting title, though their promotion has been a bit edgy for my tastes. And the game is going up against a lot of other competitive FPS games this year. Could be something that lasts, or like some of the others, something that quickly fades into the background. And then we've got Sudden Strike 4 set for August 11th. The return of this World War II RTS series with bigger maps, more units, better graphics, new scenarios, and legendary commanders. World War II is making a bit of a comeback in 2017, and here's the RTS edition. It looks great with 3 campaigns, multiplayer, and plenty of tactics and action, though getting a good RTS nowadays is tricky. If the 4th entry to this series can take its legacy and push it one step further, this should be a good one. Next we have Agents of Mayhem, coming August 15th. Set in the Saints Row universe, you play a variety of super agents running a no-holds-bar operation against a shadowy supervillain organization set in the city of Seoul. Action-packed, personality-filled, and all the craziness of the Saints Row universe, it could be a complete blast to play. On the other hand, if gameplay doesn't pack that punch they're promising, or it gets repetitive, this could end up just being a nice try. Then we've got Sonic Mania scheduled for August 15th. A whole new classic Sonic experience as we go back to 2D along with Tails and Knuckles, and a few new moves. 2017 is filled with nostalgia, remakes and remasters, and this is one of the big ones. Going back to the old Sonic that defined the series with some improved gameplay, it's hard to mess this one up if they really do remember what made the games great in the first place. Hopefully they don't mess with the formula too much and this one ends up being a great title. And then we've got Absolver, set for August 29th. Online melee action with fluid real-time combat where you play a member of the Absolvers, an elite corps of combatants fighting to maintain stability. This one reminds me a little of Lugaru or Overgrowth. The customizable and freeform combat system with various styles is cool. Complex and skill-based melee fighting games can be awesome, but they don't always turn out as amazing as intended. We'll have to wait and see how much there really is to this game and if people will stick with it. If it can hold a player base, then this could be a great competitive game. And then we have Hello Neighbor, scheduled for August 29th. A stealth horror that's about sneaking into your suspicious neighbor's house to find out what's really going on. This is just something new, weird, and fascinating. This is promising thrilling and mystery-filled gameplay. The alpha phases have been received well, so we can hope that the final product will be an experience worth sticking with, as it's meant to have a constantly evolving and advanced AI. If it ends up being a one-trick pony, then it could get repetitive, but if it keeps the experience fresh, then it could be a game that entertains for ages. And next we've got Dead Alliance, set for August 29th. Zombies, frenzied multiplayer action, solo survival mode, a zombie MOBA, and deep customization for your loadouts. It's a new zombie game, so if you're into zombies then this is one worth checking out. The variety of modes you can play suggests that there's something for everyone, though I'm always a little cautious with zombie games as there have been so many, and they haven't all turned out well. So I'd be a bit cautious, but if zombies are your thing, then you can have a look. And next we've got Life is Strange Before the Storm, episode 1 scheduled for August 31st. The prequel to the first Life is Strange adventure. This time the focus is Chloe Price and her friendship with Rachel Amber as worlds are turned upside down and demons overcome. The first game was a hit despite some criticisms, and it's been an experience that has stayed with many. Going back to explore the events we were too late to see in the first game could be enthralling, and if they keep the story fresh, this could be amazing. The only concern is that the story has already been played out, but we'll see how it goes as the episodes release. Then we have Divinity Original Sin 2, set for September 14th. An epic RPG where you can be who you want to be with pen and paper freedom, 4-player co-op, a deeper and darker story, improved combat, and a PvP arena. What seems to be shaping up to be a fantastic classic RPG, and the amount of choices and approaches you can take seem to be doing justice to the genre. Playing through solo or with friends are both interesting prospects too. Expect a lot of reading, exploration, and choice making. Next up we've got Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, set for September 19th. A fighting game where universes collide with free-form 2v2 team battles between iconic heroes and villains. One of the latest fighting games with two universes that many love, a lot of people are looking forward to this one for some action-packed gameplay to compete or just to play with friends. Infinity Stone mechanics also adds a new layer of strategy, but it has been stated that the game has been made to be more intuitive and accessible with controls and commands. So if you're a stickler for difficulty and complexity, that might turn you off a bit. Then we have Project Cars 2 coming September 22nd. The next step in this racing series that's boasting real racing that's beautiful, intense, authentic, and technically advanced. With beautifully rendered cars and tracks, racing fans should be into this one, but the first game was criticized for a few things like bugs, a shallow career mode, and not actually being all that realistic in terms of AI and physics. Fans have also criticized the studio for not fixing issues with the first game before working on a sequel. Hopefully things are fixed up a bit this time, but I'd still be really cautious before buying this one. And next we have Total War Warhammer 2, coming September 28th. 4 races, 4 outcomes, 1 goal. Defend your world as you destroy theirs in the sequel to a turn-based strategy real-time tactics game. The first game was generally well received and added a bit of life back into the Total War series, but there was also a lot of DLC, and the sequel is releasing just over a year later. The series is also planned to be a trilogy, so we know a third game is coming after this one, and we can expect DLC here too. If you're really into Total War and Warhammer, you'll probably love this game. Otherwise, I might just wait for a sale or even to buy the whole collection in one package in the future. Finally, we have Cuphead, set for September 29th. A classic run-and-gun action game where you play Cuphead or Mugman in single-player or co-op with big boss battles and a unique look inspired by 1930s cartoons. It looks amazing, and playing through this game solo or with a friend both seem like something I'd love to do, especially if you grew up watching the old cartoons. It has been delayed a few times though, so development hasn't always been smooth sailing. Hopefully all that extra time has allowed for a solid experience to be released on day one. And now for some bonus games. Some games with no specific 2017 release dates. There's A Plague Tale, which says coming soon, maybe, Battletech, Wargroove, and Quake Champions. And I did mention remakes earlier, so we've got Outcast Second Contact Remake, Age of Empires Definitive Edition, both scheduled for 2017, and StarCraft Remastered set for August 14th. In early access news for Quarter 3, we've got Islands coming to early access, Fortnite entering early access on July 25th, Gigantic is coming out of early access after 2 years, The Long Dark is coming out of early access after 3 years, and Ark Survival Evolved is also coming out of early access after 2 years. Then we've got a handful of expansions, Battlefield 1 in the Name of the Tsar, Dishonored 2, Death of the Outsider, and XCOM 2, War of the Chosen. And we also have a couple special cases. Lone Echo with Echo Arena is releasing July 20th, but requires Oculus Touch and VR, so it's not really for everyone. And Destiny 2 is releasing on console, going into beta in August, and the PC release is scheduled for October, which is technically Quarter 4. So those are 37 big PC releases to keep an eye on for Quarter 3 of 2017. Which one are you most excited about? And if you'd like more from me on what games to keep track of, you can check out the 12 genres listed at the top of the video for my collection of over 120 notable titles. YouTube no longer does annotations, so links below. Alright, that wraps up my top 20 plus upcoming PC game releases for July to September of 2017. Hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, drop me a like or share it with your friends. The support is always appreciated. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.